Hello, I'm that unhinged Hoya guy from YouTube. Welcome to my channel, otherwise known as Miro. But it's truth, it's the truth. First things first, I have several things that need to be addressed. Number one, we see plants in the back. Why, you may wonder? I'm glad you asked, even though you didn't. I am going through a project that required, I did kind of tell you I'm going to take down one of my tents, and these are some, not all, Hoya from that tent. They have to stay here, hopefully only for a couple of days, and then I will move them someplace else within this home. This means that it kind of looks crazy here. I'm not gonna lie to you. It always actually looks crazy, but now particularly it does look very deranged. So that's something you need to know. The last video that you have seen was recorded, I think, in the first week of January. It was a long time ago, okay? I had a different plan for January. Shut up. I had a different plan for January. Didn't go according to the plan, and I can't believe that it's Valentine's Day. I'm recording this on Valentine's Day, so this is actually a super late record for me, but I was like, hey, let's do it. Let's wing it. So, happy Valentine's Day. Hopefully you survived it. So anyway, we have things to do today. I have a lot of Hoya chores that I need to do, and I just decided, sometimes you need to really be brave and do some tasks that are not urgent. Sometimes you just have to be brave like that. Also, I think this is going to be a relatively brief video. For several reasons. First of all, I'm out of things. I'm out of everything. Number one, I'm out of time. I don't have much time. And I think in the future video, I will explain what has been going on, but YouTube is not the only thing that is occupying my time right now. If I was a woman, you would totally assume I was pregnant, because that's what everyone assumed when Summer Rain Oaks announced her new project, that Fog Finger Lakes, and everyone's like, oh, she's pregnant. So no, that's not it. It's something else. Essentially, it is a different type of work, and I will be discussing that in a future video. I think next week we can have like a vloggy type of a video and sort of record the entire week. Oh my goodness, those plants need to be watered. Why do I always see plants in this room? Like, I'm trying to record a video, there's a cabinet behind you, everyone's thirsty, like, get out of my eyesight. It's been pretty busy for several different reasons, and so I'm out of time. Number one, circling back, I'm out of time. I'm out of space on my camera because I've been recording all this time, believe it or not. I'm recording a video which I'm actually terrified to take a look at. I'm terrified to edit it because just now I transferred some files on my computer, and I'm out of space on my computer as well, on all of the external hard drives, SSD drives. This video is like 400 gigabytes. It's like almost half a terabyte. It's insane. It's 6 hours and it still needs one part to be finished. And I don't even think it's going to be that good. And I'm terrified to edit it, and I just don't want to do it. So I could put out that video instead of this one. I could have gotten it finished, but I just wanted to do something easier. Yeah, I just need to be arrested for recording videos. They need to take away my camera and my SD card, Anyway, today we are going to deal with begonias. We're going to deal with begonias, and I will be dealing with some good-looking begonias. I'm going to do that first because they look good. And then in the second part of the video, I'm going to deal with the begonias that I almost killed. Those are all from the cabinet in the back that I almost killed. And I will explain exactly what happened. Totally my fault. Totally my fault. It has been established by the International Begonia Court that I am to blame, and I will be spending life in prison for my crimes. So, yeah, I need to show you what those look like. They are on the mend. Not all have survived. I think I only lost a couple in the end. Most of them are gonna be okay, but it's rough. I'm gonna be honest, it's rough. But before we deal with the absolute atrocities of this plant room, we are gonna deal with some pretty ones that are here in this terrarium, and I have a begonia that I have no business owning. literally when you see it, you're gonna be like, Miro, have you absolutely lost your mind? And the answer is yes, I have. Hasn't that been clear? Who has this many plants and hasn't lost their mind? Have you lost your mind? And don't even pretend for a second that you have not lost your mind as well, because you watch my channel. So if you think you're good, if you think you're normal, think again. Think again. I'm gonna move these pots out of the way. By the way, I have a new discovery. I know that people have known about this, but this is the first time I saw it locally, and these are just perfect. I'm gonna be using these for some propagations. I mean, it's a perfect match. I think this can be also very good for shipping my begonias in once I get to that part. I'm actually wondering if this can fit. I'm wondering if this can fit. It's too loose. I have an issue with a couple of begonias here, and essentially that issue is way too much light. You kind of see this terrarium here. I'm not going to get up and move my camera to show this to you. You can just... Am I on manual focus? Listen, that entire intro has been messed up because my camera, for whatever reason, even though it's on auto settings, decided to move to manual focus. I want to show the finger to the camera, but I can't do that because we're on YouTube. So, you know, I don't really know why. I'm not going to re-record this intro. I don't care. Miro of the past would. I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna write and tell you that the intro has been effed. You're gonna have to just look away. I always actually wish you looked away, except when I'm showing you the plants. But in all other moments, just look away. Look away. So we have the terrarium here, and this has essentially replaced my small IKEA cabinet. They're not cabinets, those small IKEA terrariums. I have not found those very useful. They do not hold humidity well, despite the weather stripping, weatherproofing, whatever. It just doesn't really work well, and they are small. Though this is about the same height, but they're actually small. They're very narrow, etc. This is bigger. More plants can fit in here, and it's not janky build quality. Though, I will say, I did break this. I got a new lid. I broke the first one. I didn't even drop it. It just broke in my hands. So I'm just danger to everything around me. That's just how it is. Anyway, so we are enjoying this terrarium. I actually redid a bit of my rotsta in the back for begonias. I did something different, which you will see in the, I think maybe the next vlog video is actually going to be vlog / plant update / I don't really know. But I redid that cabinet a little bit to prepare it for the recovered begonias, which there are not too many that I would put in there yet. But anyway, I love this, and begonias seem to love it, and epicea seem to love it. It does get a bit too humid. That's the issue. It does get a bit too humid, and I can't really ventilate it, or I can, I don't refuse to. I have a begonia in there that she's tricky to grow, so we're trying not to mess her up. It would be best if that plant actually had her own enclosure, which I might consider in the future. Get something cute, crochet, just for her. Though I also like her to be in the company of other plants as well, if that makes sense. Like, isn't it kind of lonely to be in your own glass jar? I don't know. Sylvia Plath could probably tell us. Anyway. That was a very dark one. You have seen me repot some of these begonias, and you will see that they are getting too much light. I only have a single light over here. You can kind of see it. And there's not too much space between the terrarium and the light. And that has like a 20 or 30 watt Sansi bulb. I do believe it's 30. I'm blinded by looking at it. And I know that this is a bit too close, but the begonias are here. So like, I don't know. I thought it was not gonna be enough. And I was gonna like do something stronger or potentially two. Turns out it's way too much for some of these begonia. Epicea seem to love it. They're looking mwah. But these begonias, I mean, the begonias are looking good, but they're very, very red. And they should be black. Oopsie. So anyway, let's try not to break this. Essentially, I was just lifting this glass when the lid broke. And apparently because it was all from one single part, that's gonna fall, Miro, you know yourself. Because it was from a single part, it just collapsed under its own weight and it cracked. I did cut myself. It fell on the plants and one of the epicias got messed up a little bit, but you know, this is the show and tell. I will have to write the name of these plants. This epicia is so beautiful. It's in bloom. I should trim it. I think we can also take care of this terrarium next week. But you can see some of the leaves are a little bit melted here. But other than that, this is like hot as whoever is hot right now. You know, hot as that. Very hot. I'm sorry, I don't know the name by heart. I was supposed to put a tag. I clearly didn't. Clearly. But it's looking very beautiful. I want to say pink dream, but I don't think this is the pink dream. I think maybe this could be the pink satin. Not really sure. But that one is looking real pretty. I really like it. Even though it has a red flower, and a red flower on Epicia is just not my fave. But anyway, these epicias are really, really loving the high humidity. They are doing really well. Some of the bottom leaves are a bit pooped, but that really happened after that repot. They are kind of sensitive to that. So anyway, you will see the next one. It also kind of crapped itself after the repot. I do need to get up to show you some of these. But the humidity is like 95. This is the second one. Once again, I will have to look up the name. You have seen me repot this in a previous video. Let's just zoom in, because we have discovered that's kind of useful when I zoom in. So that's looking nice. You can see I really need to clean this up. The thing with the terrariums is they kind of look filthy all the time. Okay, so this needs to stop focusing on my face. So that's the second one. It's looking really, really nice. It hasn't grown as much, I think, from the last time you've seen this, but it does look nice. I also have some no IDs here, and I'm sorry you kind of have to see this zoomed in, but I really need to talk to you. This one should have a tag. Don't really know why it doesn't. This one kind of looks full. I removed all of the leaves on this one because of the very severe thrip attack, and it just doesn't really look as hot. It used to have really big leaves, but I don't know. I think because it made so many of these, they can't really properly grow. I think I should probably separate them or give it like a wider pot. I mean, it's also kind of cute. I don't know if that's focusing. I will find the name for this. This one I do know because it's absolutely my nemesis. It's Pink Smoke. It's my smallest one, the slowest growing one. This will never be a full plant. It will just forever be small. It did bloom pink, but I didn't take the sexiest photos. Maybe we can repot that too eventually. Once again, I just really don't know the names of these. I'll have to look it up. But, yeah. And the reason why we don't know, I mean, can we really tell the difference? So they're doing really well. We will finally get to one that does have a name. Nika Prohlada. Nika something Prohlada. This one was really small when you saw her last, and she kind of grew a lot. And you can definitely see the difference between these, like the way those patterns are on the leaves. Like you can definitely tell there is a difference. This one is more silvery. I don't know, between these, I mean, also you can tell the difference between these. I just can't really tell the difference between these two. And I do believe they're different, but I just can't tell anymore. And then we have another one that's kind of looking overwatered, because she's absolutely soaking wet. So probably need to move her. Yeah, but they do like being moist. Maybe not this moist. I actually don't really know why she's so wet. And then we have 3 propagations. I actually have a bunch of water in this one side of the terrarium. If someone could explain to me why, I would be grateful. These are all propagations that I need to figure out who they are. I have no idea who these are, and I don't know if we will ever know. So, but they're all different. Somehow they're all different, that much I know. Okay, I think the water is just pooling in one corner because I don't see it in the other one. Let's look at the begonias. I repotted these last time. For example, this begonia is much drier. It's blooming now. This is species metallic black, and we can see she's not metallic black, she is red. She's red because she's under way too much light. I need to fix that. She's quite sensitive to light, but she's blooming. But she's supposed to be black. So I need to move her. I'm thinking to move her under the light, but like in the other corner, because I think she will sort of be in the shade then. And then the other one that actually has grown is species Miro, which is also supposed to be black, and it's also not black. Someone has given their begonias way too much light. So this is the last begonias you saw me work with. They're really hot looking too. A really nice root system. And yeah, they're looking really nice. So we're not going to work with those. I'm going to work with minimum of 2 begonias from the terrarium. And let me just show you. I'm going to repot today this begonia ruthie, which also is about to bloom. You can see she's looking really hot and sexy. So she's gonna go into this pot. And she's been doing really well. You saw me when I got her. She was really small, but she has grown. Girl has grown. And also, another one that you saw me get, who was also very small, Sarike, I think. She's actually very beautiful. I love it. And I'm gonna repot it today. Now, the begonia you didn't see me get ready. This is, get ready. Get ready. Should not be taking her out to show you. It's Darth Valeriana. Yeah, that's why I got this in December. She has lived. She was very small when I got her. This one leaf did get a little bit crapped in shipping, but only that. Otherwise, no casualties, and she even grew these 2 leaves here. I think the reason why these are cupped and not fully flat is because she is just under too much light, but she's starting to branch out. This is apparently a very sensitive begonia. The root system looks nice, and I would like to repot her. Don't know if I will. But I do have a Darth Valeriana, and she's been alive with me for about 2 months now. So 2.5 months in. And we didn't lose a single leaf, we just lost half of this one. So I'd say we good. Now, that being said, I'm putting her right back. I'm gonna put her right back along with my epicea, and let me just put her actually in a completely different corner and see, oh my gosh, if I'm not careful, I'm gonna be breaking. Did I actually break that? I only scratched it. Glass is not for me. We have learned glass is not for me. So I'm just gonna put her in a different corner along with these ones and see what that does to us. I'm putting them here so it's behind the light. Let's see how that does for us. It's a carpet of pink epicea. I'm just cook that way. So we are dealing with these two. I may only deal with these today and then show you the crap ones tomorrow. I'll try to do this. Oh no, I sat in something wet. I think a plant drained here while I was, I think I put one of the plants from the terrarium on the chair, and I think she drained on the chair. Am I imagining? Nope. Oh no, that's a wet butt. It's a really, really wet butt. Okay. I could edit all of that out and keep it hidden from you, but I'm gonna keep it real. I just don't want to lie to you anymore and keep up the glamour that we never had. And let's deal with this Begonia Ruthie. So essentially what I will do is what I did last time when I was dealing with begonias. I will remove the potting mix and I will clean off the roots manually with fingers, and then I will spray them with hydrogen peroxide. Last time I do think I soaked them in water, and actually they were fine. None of the leaves were lost. And I might do that still now. We'll see. It sort of depends how good of a job I do cleaning the roots. This is still small, and those two plants that you saw, the metallic black and species Miro, they were about this size too when I did that thing. So they should be fine. Let's zoom in. Let's come in a bit closer. Potentially you got a bit... Oh no. Potentially you got way too close. But anyway, so this is Ruthie, and she is looking very nice. I actually love this look. I would like her to have flatter leaves, and I do believe this is light. It sort of makes sense for these to curl to sort of prevent as much light getting to the plant, to the leaf. And it makes me think that this one maybe does like higher light because she keeps the leaves pretty flat here. But sort of these adaptations, leaves getting smaller or curling, that's sometimes a sign of too much light. What can also happen is you have very small leaves with like a very elongated petiole. That's a sign of the plant reaching for the light. But this, I think it's too much light. So let's just try to get her out. I never like to do this because the leaves of these begonia are, you know, fuzzy, hairy, and that means they really catch the potting mix well. Okay. This one is suspected because this lady be having this issue. Seems to be having rootmealybugs. This is why I keep them, you know, isolated. It's not too many, but I will absolutely treat this with hydrogen peroxide of, you know, the reason why they're all in the terrarium. Maybe now they all have them. So I will see how I can, I think I just need to water everything with hydrogen peroxide in that terrarium, but yeah, I'm not surprised, to be quite honest with you. This is just what happens. So we will have to wash our hands and check the other one, see how that one is looking, but I'm gonna wash this away. I'm not gonna cut up the roots. I just don't think that's gonna help that much. I think I just, you know, I will wash the roots really well in warm water and then spray with hydrogen peroxide and then keep treating with hydrogen peroxide. And yeah, that's gonna be my first line of defense, I guess. Actually, you know what? I can wash this in warm water and then soak it in hydrogen peroxide and water. That's what I will actually do. So I will just go wash my hands because we dealt with that, so I can deal with the second one. And I think because obviously this has become a little bit more complex, we will have to deal with the propagations some other time or tomorrow, depending on how long this takes. So I have some water here, slightly warm with just a tiny bit of dish soap. I don't know what I'm doing. Shut up. I'm just gonna try to wash those roots. Hopefully the dish soap will help dissolve their bodies or something. I don't really know. This is like witchcraft at this point. Let me just soak this entire plant, wash it, and then I will take it out, wash the whole thing in clean water so I can just get that dish soap off. Let's just leave her there for a couple of seconds until I deal with the other one, assuming that, I wash my hands, and I did just now with mealybugs. Let's see this other one. Girl, can you get out? This too has some whitish parts. So I will wash that as well and then soak in the same water. Not in the same water, I will do a different batch of water. And then I will soak them in hydrogen peroxide and water. And it's just like back and forth, back and forth. I don't know. And it will reduce the population. I'm not saying that it won't. I don't think it will kill all the eggs. But let's see if we can, with, just without freaking out, with some minimal treatment, let's see if we can get that population down to something that's not going to prevent these plants to grow. I don't know at this point. Maybe mealybugs are not a problem. I'm trying to think, like, maybe mealybugs are actually good for us. Like, what if we were wrong about mealybugs all this time? That's like me right now. For a moment there, I had a thought, maybe these are not mealybugs. Maybe we're just like washing our roots and drowning our plants like I'm currently doing. And like this is not a root mealybug, but I do think these are. This one, I will tell you, has very minimal. So I will have to do the same thing to Darth Valeriana, which I don't really want to do. And I actually don't think I'm going to be doing that on camera because I will just freak out. It will be like an annoying video of me just freaking out. I don't know. Maybe that's going to be like a special video. Imagine if I just like upload that as a separate video and begonia people find it and they start just, going completely crazy on me when they see what I'm doing with Darth Valeriana. Okay, so I will just wash this later. Let's get that to clean water. Wash that again, and then I'm going to repeat the same for this one. And then I will return here with hydrogen peroxide, I guess. Okay, so we are in the kitchen, and that one was soaking in water, and so is this in separate bowls. And I don't see anything on the roots now. They do look like crap, of course, after soaking, but that's how it goes. So I'm just gonna wash this. All right, I have cleaned these water bowls. I have hydrogen peroxide, 3%. This is about 150 milliliters. I'm gonna put it in here, and I will do, I don't know, 5 parts of water. I think it's fine to do like a different concentration. Hold on, this is hard to do with one hand. All right, let's do it. So I will add, if this is 150 milliliters, I need to add, I don't know, 700 millimeters, 750, right? Is that 5 parts? Hopefully. So I'm just gonna add RO water, which is here, the tap. Ooh. Begonias go each in its separate bowl, and we're gonna cover it with that solution. I don't know if that's gonna do anything. People on Reddit who grow plants that are much more profitable than house plants say this is the ratio to use. That something stronger than that is just too strong for soaking. So we're just gonna, do this. And I'm gonna leave them for X amount of minutes. I will tell you how long I left them for. And because I'm Googling this as I go. I'm looking this up on Reddit, right? Every single time. So let's This is not how to do this. This is how Miro does this. Whether that's good or not, I don't know. Hello, it is day 2 of me taking care of my begonias, and I have 2 boxes of begonias that look really bad. These don't look good for several reasons. They were in the cabinet in the back. They have mostly re-rooted, and I noticed after several months of growing these begonias that they are starting to yellow, they're starting to look very pale, and I thought maybe they needed more light because they were mostly on the bottom of that cabinet, which now you cannot see because of all the mess in the back. But they were starting to look very pale, and I thought I'm either not watering them enough, maybe it's not enough light, etc. And turns out it wasn't really any of those things. Now I believe it was the lack of fertilizer. Because I potted these in a mix of very small bark, some vermiculite, some perlite, just a teeny bit of cocoa peat, and I think a bit of moss. And then I proceeded to never fertilize them in the period of 6 months that they were in there. And on top of it, I used RO water. I mean, sometimes you just really have good plans, right? That wasn't one of them. So I messed them up and they started to look very pale. Not all of them, but some of them, especially the ones that are like rhizomatous, they started to look pretty crappy. They actually still look very crappy. So that's why I think we need to move them to this other mix that is more nutrient dense, and now I'm gonna fertilize them too for sure because I learned. And I also started to add in some of the pots slow release fertilizer that has been working out pretty well. But now let's take a look at some of these. These are the better looking ones. These, I'm not gonna lie to you, these are the better looking ones, but also they don't look good. But I think, once again, I managed to rescue most of them. And also, they all had root mealybugs, so they got a pretty harsh treatment. in attempt to get rid of them. This is the Begonia brevirimosa exotica, and it's looking better. It's in cocoa, it's just in perlite, but I really, really want this one to grow well. And initially I thought I was gonna propagate them one more time because I think I can just get more out of them. But now I'm thinking maybe not. I'm not really sure. I could cut them because there's tons of aerial roots and begonias do propagate easily. So it's not looking hot. No one's gonna, listen, I'm telling you, they're not looking hot. The other one that actually is struggling still is this Queen's constellation. This is, I believe, Chlorosticta with Darth Vaderiana. And I just think it's too much humidity for this one in this box. She had 2 nice leaves, she dropped them. We're only left with this 1 leaf. And I actually have several, I think maybe 2 propagations of this, though I thought I had more. So that's what these look like. I'm going to attempt to repot these. The perlite ones I'm not worried about. The moss ones I'm super, super worried about. So we will see how that will go. The one that didn't really recover well is this begonia species, I think Saripoi, something like that. Let me just see if that's the name. It's super tiny. And this is the good looking ones too. Yeah, this is the begonia species Saripoi. It's barely there. It's barely there. So I think she needs to be taken care of. There is a bit of rot here, which I'm gonna try to remove. And I don't really know what the roots look like, but I'm going to try to put this in an organic mix and see if that helps. This one is species Kalimantan. Again, I think they're being a little bit too wet in here, so that's why we're losing some of the leaves. This one potentially could be cut in several parts, and then maybe we can get a little bit more, because again, I would feel bad to just not propagate this, because like, again, aerial roots are there. So, species Kalimantan, these all look better. I mean, and actually in the recovery process, they did look better at one point. Now they're not looking as hot again because I should have done this earlier. This one is, oh, I forget what this one is. I will write the name on the screen. Sorry, I can't really remember even where to start to think of the name. But this one was growing so well when it was here in a small jar, and then I repotted it and it absolutely tanked. So I will repot it again because that has proven to be the one thing that will tank this begonia, so let's do it again, right? But hopefully we can get this recovered. I think this is why I'm saying I would kind of like to see my begonias, all of them here, but I need to change the light and figure out how to light my epicias back there, because I just want to monitor them. I'm not so worried about my epicea. This is Begonia Irian Jaya from New Guinea, and this one is supposed to be actually very easy. It has proven not to be so easy for me. I mean, it tanked faster than Darth Vaderiana, so I don't know. I think this is all due to lack of fertilizer and once again, potentially too much light. Chlorosticta has been a mess for me. It's been really, really difficult begonia for some reason. It looked only good for a brief amount of time, and I just really think I got the conditions wrong in that terrarium. I will get some scissors to fix that. But it's on the path to recovery, and I know that Fern has this one, and I think she said it's very, very easy, but for me, I don't know. I had much easier time with some of them that you see here, like Darth Verderiana, 2 months, no issues. I don't know. I think something about this has made them grow, and that one in the back, I just didn't set up Rutsta in such a way that it makes them grow well. I got a bunch of this. I need to clean up some of these leaves. This is Begonia polyloensis. This was one plant. And we see I have these three, and then, oh, three more. Let me just try to get all of them together. Again, there are some yellowing leaves, and I still think this is just them. This is not humidity. Maybe they're being actually a bit too wet, but I think mostly this is them reacting to not being fertilized enough. So, but you know, all of this together kind of looks good. Can we just keep them all? I can't keep them all, but I want to repot them and prepare some of them eventually. Because I don't know, I wouldn't say this is fully recovered yet, but I would like to eventually get them fully recovered and tradable. And then I have species Julau, which, like, this one has actually been very easy. I am debating, maybe I shouldn't do anything with this. Again, I will just see how difficult it is to remove this moss because begonias have sensitive roots for sure. But, I mean, once again, I have several and they've been growing mostly well. We have 4. So we're going to deal with the pretty ones today. And I don't think I have time, I don't think I have enough time to deal with another box, which is super ugly. I'm gonna leave that, I'm not gonna show that to you today, because listen, oh, it's so depressing. Let's see. Maybe I can take a quick look. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the other box looks super depressing, so I'm not gonna show that to you today. I will show it to you in a video. It's not that, it's just like we already have our work cut out for us here. So I'm going to transfer all of these now to an organic mix. I mean, moss is organic, but to a mix that I used. And I just need to find a way, a space where to put them all. Can we see? We can kind of see. So we have these leaves that are not looking very good. They're very yellow. So I'm just going to remove it. Let's just cut it. But a lot of the leaves did start to look sort of like that. Now let's see if I can actually get this moss away. It's very, very, very root bound, very mossy. And if I cannot get rid of the moss, which, you know, I think I won't be able to, I think what I will do instead is propagate this one more time so I can root it in the mix that I would prefer to grow it in. Obviously, I should have, you know, done this long time ago. So very gently, I will try to get rid of this moss, but I just don't see this going overly well for us because of the very fine roots that begonias have. And I think if we do lose some of the roots, it's gonna be fine. Once again, I'm not afraid, because I propagated all of these, so I'm not afraid that they're not gonna root. The issue is I don't have space to root more of these plants. If you ever propagate begonias in moss, my advice to you, sooner rather than later, remove that moss from your plant. On the bright side, you know, what I concluded when it comes to begonia, they seem to be more resilient than hoya. I know you're probably going to say, Miro, you're crazy, but listen, these begonias recovered much quicker and they started to grow much quicker than a lot of my hoyas do once they get offended. And they are quicker to root, they root better, faster. There are still a lot of problems that obviously you can have with begonia, like me not feeding them. kind of forgot they're not really, I mean, these are not really epiphytic plants, not in the same sense that hoyas are. I'm sure they're like epiphytic or hemiepiphytic begonia, but yeah, these are mostly terrestrial plants in the shade, which is again my issue here. I'm giving some of these way too much light, which I need to adjust. I'm not really good when it comes to plants with low light or figuring out exactly what that low light is. I think because of how much light I have here, artificial, not natural, my perception of what low light has changed quite a bit. And now I will just put them under 16-watt lamp and assume that's low light, and that's just not what low light is, honey. That's pretty, depending on the distance, obviously, it's pretty high light still. But I think maybe the bottom of that cabinet in the back, because it was only lit with one 16-watt lamp, I think that was too low of a light. I don't know. I can't figure it out. Actually, I'm going to tell you, this is going much better than I imagined it was going to go. So, not to jinx it, but I think this might be easier than what I expected. I also love that I have this, and I'm not using it at all. But yeah, definitely, I've seen more recovery and quicker recovery with the begonias than that I've seen with Hoya. I don't know. I'm not I'm not saying begonias are better than Hoya, don't get me wrong, but some of them are. Some of them are. So this has been going pretty well with this one, and you can see she has a pretty big root system. I do have to decide which of these I'm going to keep. I don't know. I feel like hoarding all four of them. But this has gone pretty well, and I like the way these roots look. So actually, if you just take your time and you don't pack the moss, says me, and now probably the next one is going to be absolute hell to get rid of. Let's do this one. It's such a pretty begonia too. I don't even care that she lost the pink, because as this one gets older, it becomes silvery, but the sort of the reason why people love it is because when she's in juvenile state, she is pink. Like you can see here in juvenile leaves, she is pink. I don't really know what's happening. I think this is the base of the plant, and it looks kind of janky. So we need to see what's up with that. And probably keep it separate, but these are all propagations from upper. And let's just keep these pots. This is a little bit drier, so might be slightly more challenging. I feel that one was just ideal moisture to remove the moss. I don't know if this is one of my favorite begonias because of the way that it looks, or because generally this one has been super chill. I mean, I cut it because of the rootmealybugs, but it was just like, it's been super chill. Initially, we did struggle, like for the first month. She tanked almost immediately, but I haven't experienced that ever since, to be quite honest, with begonias. I would like to get some water on here though, and I did have a sprayer. I barely have any water in here. I really loved how easy they are to propagate. I loved how they are relatively quick to recover. They do require higher humidity, that's a shame. And, there are still problems with them, obviously. I'm not going to say they're the best plants, but I don't know, they're so pretty and not as difficult. I mean, obviously, I'm saying this and you see, Miro, you're saying they're not difficult, but like so many of your plants tanked. But like, that's just because I thought these plants were so sensitive that I was way, way, way too careful. And in that, I made a really stupid mistake, which is not fertilize them at all. Because I was like, oh, they're so sensitive. I don't want to over-fertilize them, burn the roots or leaves or whatever. And in that babying, I actually made the crucial mistake of not giving them any food at all. And they needed it. They really, really needed it. And by the time I realized the nutritional deficiency was so severe, I mean, some of the rhizomatous ones, when you've seen some of the future videos, I will show you, they look terrible. I think they will recover, but I had to cut most of the leaves off. So, yeah. Anyway, let's just focus on removing this moss here slowly and relatively gently. I still have Hoya that, they were less offended than these, because these, again, went to pretty severe nutrient deficiency, but, they're on the mend. But I have some Hoya that, I don't know, maybe they had like root rot once, and I rooted them, and they're like still being assholes about it, Sorry for the language, or, they had mites once, and now they're still, being cranky about that. Like, get over it, get over it. Oh, I burned your leaves once. Shut up. People say a lot, Hoyas are so easy, but growing Hoyas for such a long time, I can tell you, I don't think they are. There are plenty of hoyas that are easy, but oh boy, they can be quite challenging. Or I just have too many of them. One of those is true. How can I decide which one of these to keep is beyond me? Like, it's actually beyond me. I want to keep all of the propagations of this species, Julao. And then I want to complain how I don't have space. Essentially, I think I'm giving up for the time being on that rotsta in the back. It's gonna, be for orchids, etc. But I think my begonias look better when they are enclosed in a terrarium. Maybe the rhizomatous ones are gonna be fine, but yeah, I don't know. That rotsta, I never, even with the sprayer, I couldn't get the humidity to go over 75. So, ooh, I love how these roots look. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Let's get this one out. I think I'm swallowing a bit of moss here. I know that some of you are gonna say that all begonias look the same. And listen, I'm gonna say one thing. I need to get water. What I wanna say is, listen people, my Hoya people, I defended you. When people were saying all Hoya look the same, I defended you. And now I see some of you are starting to tell all begonia look the same. Listen, let's just, not bring down plants in the comments if we can do that. Thank you very much. If you want to record a video like I do and then trash talk a plant, that's what I do. If you're gonna trash talk a plant, make sure it's impactful. Make a full-length 40-minute video, rant about it, That's how it's done. Okay, we are also gonna be quickly done with this one. So far this has been okay-ish. And yes, I am getting some of the roots out with the moss too, but honestly, I think I kept the majority of the roots intact. I gotta tell you, this tool is kind of handy. Thank you. I was sent this by my patron, Youth of the Walnut. Thank you so much. I also have several of these, and if you think I know where all of them are, nope. I've been moving stuff around in my room that I'm losing things on a daily basis, and one day I'm just like, I'm gonna lose myself here. I do want to remove most of the moss here, because if this was a Hoya, I wouldn't, because the mix that I put my Hoyas in has bark in it, and the begonia mix that I'm using now doesn't. It's like vermiculite, perlite, and peat. Yes, it's peat, and I have a lot of peat left over, so I'm just gonna use it because I see that a lot of people use it with, and why would I throw it away? That's, let's just use it. And I have so much that, because I only bought one bag of peat ever, but it was 300-liter one. So I will just have it until the day I die, probably. No matter how many begonias I get, I think I will just have it forever. So I will just use it on these. And yeah, it seems that they grow well. I mean, that lady that I get these begonias from now, rootmealybug aside, she grows them in peat. Darth Vardariana is in pure peat, my lovely people, and she never struggles with it. I'm really rethinking so many things lately about these mixes that we make. Like this woman, it's the simplest, dumbest mix ever, and she grows amazing begonias. And here I was trying to reinvent hot water, or reinvent the wheel. That's the American saying, right? We say here, reinvent the hot water. And I feel like I was doing the same with Hoya, with, going through all of these different mixes and just like stick with what works. I mean, I see so many older, big collectors who grow nice plants, like beautiful, gorgeous plants, better than mine. And they also grow in mixes that I just don't know how they do it, because they look way too dense for me. Oh my God, these roots look so good. I'm so proud of myself. We're gonna tackle the perlite ones last. I just lost the scissors in there. Perlite ones are gonna be tackled last, because that's just dump and go, right? Let's do this one. Or you know what? Actually, I don't want to do that one, because that one I think is maybe sensitive. Let's do these. Now these have some leaves here that I don't love. So if we can just get rid of some of these leaves that don't look good, that would be great. These are very, very well rooted. However, despite them being like so matted, it seems that they're releasing this moss quite well. Thank you very much. See, begonias want me to like them. They're like on my side. Hoyas would never. I almost didn't even need tweezers for this one. Wow, that actually went pretty well with that. Why is moss being suddenly so good towards me too? Like, why is this so easy? I thought this was gonna take a million hours, seeing how thin these roots are and they're like so matted, but like, why is this easy? I'm suspicious. I'm suspicious of this. This something is just like very sus here. It's actually going to be a joy to have these repotted and in a setup where they're going to be visible to me once again, because they've been in the boxes and I don't really see what's going on. So it's going to be really nice to see them incorporated in the plant collection once again, because I really have missed them. That's looking good. Unfortunately, we have like so many more of that plant. We have 6 of her, I think. Oh my goodness, this is adorable. Look at it. Oh my gosh, how am I gonna pot that? I do believe this could be the base or very close to the base of the plant. I mean, this is just insane. The amount of roots. It's ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Iridonculous. I don't even know where to put it. However, I will say one thing about my begonia rescue. I rescued most of the most important ones. Yes, some of them don't look good, like that Chlorosticta, but I think she will. I have hope in her. The rhizomatous ones were really honestly a filler. These really nice cane ones, most of them I rescued. The only one that I didn't is Pteridiformis. That one actually I think went dormant. I don't know if she's gonna come back. At the time of purchase, to be quite honest, I didn't know anything about this plant. I did not know that she goes dormant, and I don't think I actually even took good care of her in her dormant stage, so she may not come back. So I might need to repurchase that one. Thankfully, it's not too expensive here because this lady is really well at good propagating them, but I really also should not buy plants that ever go dormant. So far, in all of my years of growing plants, which is over 15, I'm not good at dormant plants. Like, their dormancy is kind of like forever, you know, which at that point I think is called death. Forever dormancy is not dormancy, Miro, it's death. So, maybe I should just stay away from everything that goes dormant, but like, how was I supposed to know? Sure, I could have Googled it, but like, who would have thought there are begonias that go dormant? Certainly not me. With my beginner begonia perspective, I thought none of them ever went dormant. Let's just get some water in here. And before we move on to the ones in perlite, I think I'm just going to quickly pot these because I don't want them to stay dry for too long or unpotted for too long, because we also have quite a lot in perlite and I don't think that all those roots are the best. So we may need to do some root treatment there. Let's just get a little bit more water in here. I don't know, I think moss is actually pretty good for propping begonia. What do we think? I think it's great. Obviously, don't let it get this far, but like, I don't know, for worry-free quick rooting, I think it kind of works well. I still don't like to propagate in perlite. I don't know why. I just don't like it. I don't like wet perlite. That's the thing. I don't like it. It's not a very pleasing texture. It's weird and it smells weird when perlite is wet. Like, it doesn't smell rotten or anything, but it just like has a weird smell. Now this queen constellation is also dry, so let's quickly make her moist. I think for this one, the issue really has been lack of nutrients. Even now, because I did water them once with some nutrients, but that was a month ago, and she lost she had 2 bigger leaves. And I don't know, to me, like the loss of those bottom leaves is usually a sign of either nutrient deficiency, and because the plant is trying to, preserve the top, but also underwatering. And considering how dry this is currently, maybe she was also not watered. I typically don't have to water in the boxes. Like, I don't really have to water my hoya when I propagate them, but begonias seem to drink up that water. They're really thirsty. Even in this terrarium with 95% humidity, I've had plants go dry, which really surprised me. I did not expect that. Again, my experience with these types of setups has been that they, when they're like closed in a terrarium, is that they don't really need much water almost ever. You can water them, 3 times a year, but I don't know how these begonias drank all that water. This one is a bit more stubborn. I would like this to be easy because, girly, you are the last one that needs to be unmossed. This one is really, really losing a lot of the roots. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm trying, but like, she really is crazy rooted. Like, the roots of this one are truly matted. I don't know, does anyone else find that fascinating to deal with a certain species? For Hoya too. I noticed just how much different the roots are between different Hoya species and how easy it is to spot like which one is probably more sensitive. Usually the plants with like thinner roots are more sensitive. So I believe this one is probably a more sensitive begonia than the others. And sort of these that grow very matted roots. Like, look, that's almost nothing is left. And she had the roots all the way to the bottom. So this is not ideal, obviously, but I think she's gonna be fine. They grow roots really fast, but really none of the moss can stay. But you can see how matted this one is. Even the roots that are remaining, which are not many, how matted those are towards the top. I don't know. We did lose a lot of the roots with that, but oh well, that's the last one. We will start potting the plants, and the order in which we pot them is going to be, from what we unpotted first. And I don't have much space here for this. Let's just hold it like a baby. So I'm going to put the potting mix in there. Let's start with this one, because she's the closest. Oh my gosh, the roots are so big. And there, I think that's faster. I feel this is such a missed opportunity to pot all of them as a single plant for like a giant one. Such a missed opportunity, isn't it? Do they look good together? Would they? They would look so good together. Should I do it? Because they're gonna look so good together, I feel. Let's do it. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? I'm crazy. Can we fit them all in one pot? I think we might need a slightly bigger pot. Do I do it? I think so. However, the pot may be a little bit too small. The next size up could be a little bit too big. Maybe I should let them establish first in the small pot, and then once I see they have settled in, move them to a large pot. What do we think about that plan? Oh my goodness. This is either a great idea or a pretty bad idea. It's a bad idea when it comes to potting these though, I can tell you that. I love that I could have traded this or sold it, but I was like, not today. You ain't gonna trick me of getting rid of my plants today. I mean, I can also still propagate this, let's be real. I do feel that she is gonna need to be fed right away. So I will actually put some fertilizer I think that's much better than having a single one, right? That was a great idea. That was an excellent idea. Let's do the next one. Now, when it comes to these, I can also pot a couple of them together. Let's see. I don't want to pot this one. I want something that looks fairly simple. But then again, this one is so good at branching out that it may not be necessary to pot more than one. Let's not, because I feel it's just going to be messy. Was I trying to center this? I think I was. That seemed like a good plan, Miro. Why did we abandon it? They lose their firmness very, very quickly after taking them out of the prop box. Same with the terrarium. They really start to get floppy pretty quickly once they go from these, you know, sort of ideal conditions, perhaps. I can already see that we need to put them back. They need to be put back. They can't handle it. Like, this is very floppy. It's getting very floppy. Let's do this one. I think she's ready, even though we still have two of those. I just want to get this one potted. I also get a sense that this one doesn't really love to have its leaves wet. I don't know. It's just the vibes that I've been getting. Ooh. And now we can do two of these. The potting mix is going over some of the leaves, but I will just try to clean that off later with a sprayer. That's gonna be a Zen thing that I will do later by myself. I actually think this one could have potential once she grows into her weird structure. All right, let's do the perlite ones. Let's start with Breviary Mosa. And I'm just gonna dump perlite here with the moss. See, these have some of those old roots that don't look good. So there is a, you know, the old root structure, which I will get rid of. Those are the old and rotten roots, because this was a base and it was pretty harshly treated to get rid of the rootmealybugs, which hopefully worked. Those don't look alive to me. We have nice and fresh roots, and we're just gonna focus on keeping those. Hopefully, eventually I will get to propagate this one, because I would like to have more of it. I was told this one likes higher light, so maybe she will go into this terrarium next to me. This one has the potential to grow so big. And I really, really want that for me. I really do. I'm gonna leave the weakest looking one for the end, because it's the weakest looking one. Let's do this one. Oh yeah, this one has a lot of dead roots. Old dead roots. A bunch. So I feel we need to maybe pot this one a little bit deeper to get some good roots going. Out of the way. Oh, nasties. All right. We're looking better. It's a shame, it's a shame. I would like to repurchase this one. If it doesn't go well for me with this, I will definitely get it again, because I like it a lot. I didn't think that I would, but actually, when I started to lose her, I was quite sad. Yeah, this one doesn't have many roots at all. That's... I mean, you have seen the other ones. So I feel that's the reason, part of the reason why she isn't growing so much. Let's do Kalimantan. See, they did better in moss. I'm not crazy. Like, they definitely rooted better in moss. This is just like nasty mess. I will let this adjust, but eventually I will cut this and make two plants. I will cut it here. We have aerial roots, but I will just let it kind of sit for a week. This is my poor Chlorosticta. Oh, girl. See? It's interesting that the best results were in moss. Let's see how they do now with the transition. Hopefully, the result will be explosion and growth. This one, this is so tiny. This didn't even root. There's some pathetic roots on top. So I'll have to go and find a tiny, tiny cup, tiny, tiny pot for this. This is just shoot, you know, Scheiße. That's what this is. Oh my gosh. Okay, that one did not do anything. So perlite didn't work for all of them. Actually, for most of them, the perlite didn't really do much of, didn't do them any favors, I'd say. I know a lot of you do like to grow begonias in perlite, but hey, for whatever reason, in my conditions, they said no. They were like, Oh, we removed a bunch of those new ones. Okay, well. Oh, shoot. Well, it will reroot. We still have some good roots, but yeah, I removed by accident because you can't see anything here in this mess of old roots. I can't see much. I'm not quite happy with the results in perlite. Let's do this one. Oh. Yeah. On the bright side, it does remove fast, if nothing else, but yeah, it's not for me. I don't know. I can't even remove these old roots. They're matted. So I think I will just leave them on this one. I don't really wanna cut away the new roots, you know. It's just like, this is not a great situation, to be quite frank with you. I don't know why I left the old roots. What exactly did I think I was gonna achieve? Whatever I thought, I didn't achieve it. They just grew new roots from different parts of the plant. The issue is that the new roots matted with the old ones, so I feel we need to sacrifice some of them. Anywho, let's do this one. I feel the reason why they also didn't do well is because the perlite was too wet for some of them. It seems like I can definitely sense that this was too wet. Okay, and that concludes that part. So let's quickly pot these up. I will need to get a couple of smaller pots for this. I will not get a smaller pot for this, but obviously this is too tiny. The rest of them I think can go in this pot from Temu. That one was good. Oh, I have one more. I'll just do this off camera. I can't do everything on camera. We're really running out of time. I will show you the results as always. I'm trying to limit myself how much I dedicate to my plant tasks because of other tasks and things that need to be done. Okay, hopefully this ends up looking better. I will get you looking so good that people who watch this channel are not gonna believe that you were once ugly. All right, Chlorosticta. Let's be quick about this. Perfect. Next, Kalimantan. The root system is gone. I really have intrusive thoughts here. I want to cut it right away. But let's not, Miro. Let's be cool. Let's be chill. And do we only have one more here? Yeah. And then I have to go and fish out smaller pots. Also, you know, I grew them well once, so I think I can grow them well again. All right, I'm going to stop this here and water these, spray them, water them. See, they're really quickly losing all of the zhuzh that they have. So they need to get back into a box really fast. would like to take some time to thank all of my patrons for their incredible support. A massive shout out to my $5 patrons, my 2 anonymous patrons, Alex von Siebenthal, Anne Margaret Morin, Angela Bernard, Angela Parrish, Anna P, and C. Aspen Drake, Betsy, Brett Noble, Connie Pagano, Daniela, Danube Daniels, Down on Rolls, Deepanjali Rao, Either W, Eleni Saxon, Ellen, Farah, Ferdis Verdance, Francis Wilkins, Gathering Moss, Gina Geisset, Gina Radovic, Grossitz Kyle, Growing Nurse, Hannah Matlin, Heather Uppingham, Hunji Scott, Yana Griffin, Jennifer Martin, Jessica Chio, Jody D. Gomez, Jonas Bayer, Hjorth Larson, Cara, Catherine P, Casey Gross, Callie Gallagher, Kelso, Kimberly Polka, Kiwi Mochi, Christy Ehrlich, Ellen, Berglee Mooney, Lucas Irchevsky, Mandy Milliken, Marcel Har, Marina Yarmolich, Morris B, Marty Miller, Melissa Walker, Michelle Heron, Mirka Grun Roos, MJW, Moa Edmund, Miss Seidenhar, Neely Yang, Niha, Nicole Moreau, Nina Nguyen, Nita Macy, Odette, PJ Pacific NW Guy 97, Plan Grid, Saig Zera, Rachel Peterson, Rebecca C, Renee Church, Sharon Bone, Sophia Rian, Starla Van Lith, Sufi Cordecangas, Tessa Martins, Thomas Marsden, Tia B, Trista Bailey, Tristan Thomas, Van Isle Dude, Xenia Green, Youth of the Walmut, Zaira Rivera, Zordarama, Zlakop Niponi, and a flower. A big thank you to my $3 patrons, Anna Malia, Karen Kilon Constance, Daryl De Rosario, Eden Corlett, Holly Borner, KPZ, Lindsay Ann, Monica Wykers, Nella Nerdy Kathy, Ringlov, Shayla Casper, Tangwa Tanasria Cool, and a thank you to my $1 patrons, 1 anonymous patron, Alice Borlin, Andrew G. Aquila, Brandon Pacheco, Catherine Molina, Couture Helvetica, Emilia Bronson, Jolie Sullivan, Kayla Vavra, Kelly Ash, Chris Perez, Laura E. Jackson, Lauren at Tugboat Plants, Lorianne Subramaniam, Luzmin Fernandez, Marga FV, Mary Diamond, Mary Rose, Neely Spicer, Olivia Chen Mueller, and Pacific NW Plant Lady.